Welcome to Paradox Lab. Try to think about a seemingly simple question amidst this vast universe. Are we truly the first civilization? The universe has existed for about 13.8 billion years, yet the entire history of humanity's technological civilization occupies a fleeting moment that is almost imperceptible. If we were to compress the entire history of the universe into a single year, our modern civilization would only appear in the final seconds before midnight. This means that before humans built the first radio, the universe had over 13 billion years to experiment with life. During that colossal expanse of time, trillions of stars were born, grew old, exploded, and sowed matter into the darkness. Around countless stars, planets formed, some possessing oceans, atmospheres, energy sources, and perhaps conditions that once resembled Earth. Our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and the observable universe holds hundreds of billions of other galaxies. Amidst such staggering numbers, assuming that only a single planet has ever produced intelligence seems to be an incredibly bold assumption. But there is an even stranger problem. Many stars in the universe are billions of years older than our Sun. If an Earth-like planet had formed just 1 billion years earlier, life there could have also had an earlier head start than us. 1 billion years is an unimaginable span of time on Earth. It is enough for life to evolve from simple forms into astonishingly complex creatures. So, if a civilization were to emerge 1 million years before us, how far beyond humanity would their technology be? And if they were ahead by 1 billion years, perhaps we would not even have enough imagination to comprehend what they have become. For such a civilization, the distances between the stars might no longer be the impossible barrier it is for us today. They might have observed Earth when there were no humans, no animals, or even before the first forests appeared. Yet, when we look up at the sky, we see no cities among the stars, hear no clear signals, and find no definitive traces. That silence creates a paradox. If the universe has had so much time to forge intelligence, then where are they all? It is possible that we are truly the first, but it is also possible that countless civilizations have come before and long since vanished. Perhaps the history of intelligence in the universe began billions of years ago, while humanity has only just entered a very late chapter. To know whether we are the first or not, we must first ask, since when did the universe truly have the necessary conditions to create life? To know if we are the first civilization, we must return to the time when the universe was just born and contained almost nothing. After the Big Bang, the universe primarily contained only hydrogen, helium, and a very small amount of lithium. The raw materials for life did not yet exist. There was no carbon to build organic molecules, no oxygen for water, and no iron to form rocky planets like Earth. Therefore, during the first hundreds of millions of years, the universe might have been vast and brilliant, but it was virtually incapable of creating worlds like ours. Then, gravity began pulling colossal clouds of gas together, creating the first generation of stars in the universe's history. These first stars were very different from the Sun. They could be massive, fiercely hot, and live far shorter lives than the stars of today. It was deep within their cores that heavier elements were created for the first time, as pressure and temperature forced atomic nuclei to fuse. Carbon, oxygen, silicon, and many elements necessary for rocky planets began to appear. But they remained trapped deep inside the stars. Only when those massive stars died in violent explosions was the material released back into space. Each explosion was like the universe sowing seeds, scattering new elements into the gas clouds that would form the next generation of stars. The subsequent generation of stars was born from the richer material around them. The first grains of dust could combine into rock, metal, and planets. For the first time in cosmic history, solid worlds with surface oceans and atmospheres began to become a real possibility. But this did not happen everywhere at once. Some regions became rich in heavy elements earlier, while others remained poor in matter. Thus, planets suitable for life could have appeared in some places long before Earth was formed. Earth is only about 4.5 billion years old. Meanwhile, some planetary systems in the galaxy are billions of years older than ours. If a world with the right conditions appeared 2 or 3 billion years earlier than Earth, life there could have had a massive advantage. But age does not guarantee intelligence. A planet could exist for billions of years, while life on it remains at the level of simple organisms. On Earth itself, life appeared quite early, but it took nearly 4 billion years to produce a species capable of building technology. That makes the question much harder. The universe could create life early, but is intelligence an inevitable outcome? To find the answer, we must look to worlds older than Earth, where time might have granted life an earlier start. If we want to find civilizations that might have appeared before us, the most logical place to start is with planets older than Earth. Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago, but in the galaxy, many stars existed long before the Sun was born. That opens up a staggering possibility. Worlds with solid surfaces might have appeared billions of years before us. One of the famous examples is the Kepler 444 system, born when the universe was only about 1/3 of its current age. The planets in this system are unlike Earth and are probably too hot, but their age is what catches scientists' attention. They show that rocky planets could have formed very early on, billions of years before our solar system appeared. And if ancient rocky planets existed, perhaps somewhere there were also worlds located at the right distance for liquid water to exist. A world like that could have begun its evolutionary process 1, 2, or even many billions of years before Earth. If a civilization emerged just 1 million years earlier than us, the technological gap between the two sides would be almost unimaginable. 1 million years ago, our ancestors had not yet built cities, written texts, or even known that other planets existed. Meanwhile, in just the last few hundred years, humans have gone from steam engines to spacecraft and machines that can think. If that pace of development continues, in just a few thousand more years, humanity itself might become utterly alien to who we are today. So what could a civilization with an extra million years achieve? And what would happen if they had an entire billion years? Perhaps they would have harnessed the entire energy of their planet, then their star, and ultimately an entire galaxy. Yet, the more we look at ancient star systems, the more we encounter a strange reality. There is no solid evidence for such civilizations. There are no clear signals, no confirmed megastructures, and no traces that force us to conclude they exist. It could be that life is extremely common, but intelligence is exceedingly rare. Or perhaps civilizations usually vanish before spreading among the stars. It is also possible that we are looking for the wrong things, because a civilization a million years ahead might no longer use technology that we would recognize. The time gap between us and them could be so vast that it is like an ant trying to understand the entirety of human civilization. And to understand just how large that gap truly is, try to imagine a civilization that appeared 1 billion years before humanity. 1 billion years is a span of time so long that everything humans have ever built, discovered, and remembered becomes unbelievably small. Just a few hundred years ago, we did not even have electricity. A century ago, humanity had never left the surface of the Earth. But today, machines have set foot on other worlds, telescopes peer back into the past, and artificial intelligence is beginning to reshape society. If just a few centuries have created such a massive difference, try to imagine what could happen after 1 million years of continuous development. An ancient civilization might no longer be confined to the planet where they were born. They could spread throughout their star system. They could dismantle asteroids, build cities in space, and harvest their star. After thousands of years, millions of self-replicating probes could continue the journey, carrying their traces to other stars. Even at a fraction of the speed of light, a civilization could still spread across the galaxy in a time frame much shorter than its age. But 1 billion years would not just change technology, it could alter the very nature of the beings that created that civilization. They might replace biological bodies with more durable structures, surviving in environments that natural life could not endure. Their consciousness might no longer reside within a single body, but could be distributed among billions of machines across multiple different planets. By then, the concepts of individuality, lifespan, or death might become completely different from what humans understand today. Such a civilization could live slower than a thought over thousands of years, or accelerate their cognition millions of times faster than ours. They could move planets, alter stellar orbits, or build structures so massive that our telescopes would have to see them. And if they truly existed 1 billion years before us, they would have had enough time to leave their footprints almost everywhere in the galaxy. Yet we do not see galaxies filled with machinery, nor do we see stars clearly being strip-mined. We see no one waiting. Perhaps they never existed, or perhaps 1 billion years does not create gods, but only creates dead civilizations. Because the more powerful the technology, the greater the potential for self-destruction. A single mistake is sometimes enough to end an entire history. Perhaps the greatest test of intelligence is not its emergence, but surviving long enough to become a truly ancient civilization. Therefore, the next question is no longer how far a civilization can advance, but how long they can endure. We often imagine that the more advanced a civilization is, the more immortal it becomes. But perhaps technology does not guarantee survival. It only changes the way they disappear. On Earth, species can exist for millions of years, but human technological civilization has only been around for an extremely short period. We do not yet know whether an average civilization lasts for 1,000 years, 1 million years, or just a few centuries before coming to an end. The initial threats could come from their own planet: climate change, resource depletion, pandemics, or ecological collapse. But as technology develops, new perils arise. Energy capable of building an entire world can also become energy that destroys it. Stronger weapons, synthetic biology, runaway artificial intelligence, or previously unimagined technologies could all become a filter. It is possible that the vast majority of civilizations reach a threshold where their power grows faster than their ability to control that very power. If they manage to overcome themselves, they still face cosmic hazards from a universe where no civilization is entirely safe. A large enough asteroid could devastate an ecosystem. A supervolcano could alter the global climate for years. A nearby supernova explosion or a gamma-ray burst aimed straight at the planet could cause consequences that technology would struggle to prevent. Even the star that nurtures them will not last forever. Sooner or later, every civilization must learn to leave their homeworld. But leaving a planet does not mean immortality. The entire galaxy also changes, collides, and goes through perilous eras. It could be that the longest living civilizations are not the strongest, but those that know how to slow down, hide, and avoid unnecessary risks. Such a civilization might not broadcast strong signals, build conspicuous structures, and remain nearly invisible to our telescopes. This creates a strange possibility. Perhaps the universe does not lack intelligence, but the civilizations that survive the longest are precisely the quietest ones. But it is also possible that no one makes it through those filters. Each civilization flares up momentarily, and then vanishes before encountering one another. If the average lifespan is only a few thousand years, two civilizations could live in the same galaxy, but be separated by millions of years in time. When we began broadcasting radio waves, a nearest civilization might have long since gone extinct, or perhaps had not yet emerged. Therefore, the silence of the universe does not necessarily prove that we are the first. It might merely indicate that civilizations rarely exist at the same time. But if ancient civilizations have disappeared, could anything of theirs survive long enough for us to find today? If a civilization existed millions of years before us, perhaps the question is not where they are, but how much of their traces remain. On Earth, a mere few thousand years is enough for cities to be swallowed by forests, metals to rust, and colossal structures to gradually fade away. After 1,000,000 years, geological movements can crush continents, bury surfaces, and erase nearly every trace of a civilization. After hundreds of millions of years, even the grandest cities might be reduced to just a few minuscule chemical anomalies in layers of rock. Thus, if a civilization once lived on a distant planet and then vanished, the surface of that world might look completely natural. But out in space, things can endure much longer. There is no rain, wind, or living organisms to rapidly break down abandoned structures. A dead satellite, a space station, or a machine on a moon could persist for millions of years before becoming completely deformed. If ancient civilizations ever visited our solar system, the best place to look for evidence might not be on Earth. The moon, asteroids, or more distant, unchanging objects might retain remnants that Earth has wiped clean. However, there is no credible evidence suggesting that we have found any extraterrestrial structures within the solar system. Therefore, scientists search for another type of footprint, not cities, but anomalous fluctuations in the light of stars. A civilization harvesting stellar energy might construct gigantic structures that obscure light in ways that are difficult to explain naturally. They might also leave behind waste heat, because any machine using energy, no matter how advanced, must release some fraction of heat. Therefore, a galaxy with an unusual abundance of infrared radiation is sometimes considered a place worth examining closer. But so far, any bizarre signs have not been strong enough to prove that they were engineered by an ancient civilization. That does not mean they never existed. Perhaps technology vanishes faster than we think, or their traces fall outside our current observational capabilities. An empire that lasted 1,000,000 years and then disappeared 1 billion years ago might leave fewer traces than a civilization that just arose yesterday. Perhaps we are living amidst ruins without realizing it, because time has transformed them into seemingly completely natural phenomena. But if we see no cities, signals, or monuments, that silence brings us back to one of science's most famous questions. If the universe is so vast, so ancient, and so full of planets, then where are all the possible civilizations? The universe is very old. The galaxy has hundreds of billions of stars, and planets seem to be everywhere. So if life is not rare, where is everyone? That simple question has become one of the greatest mysteries of modern science, known today as the Fermi Paradox. If a civilization can travel between the stars, they do not need to fly faster than light to spread across the galaxy. By merely moving slowly, building new colonies, and continuing the journey, a civilization can still expand from one star to another. According to many estimates, that process could be completed in a few million years, an incredibly brief time, compared to the galaxy's age of over 10 billion years. If just one civilization emerged early enough and possessed an expansionist drive, their traces should have already been present in numerous places. Yet Earth has seen no confirmed visitors, and the solar system harbors no artificial extraterrestrial structures verified by science. Telescopes have also not found any signal forcing us to conclude that an extraterrestrial civilization is broadcasting. Perhaps the simplest explanation is that life is exceedingly rare. An ocean-bearing planet is not guaranteed to produce the first cell. Or perhaps simple life is common, but the leap from a single cell to a complex organism is so difficult that it rarely happens. It could also be that intelligence is not the ultimate destination of evolution. On Earth, millions of species continue to survive perfectly well without ever needing to build technology. And even if intelligence arises, a technological civilization might only endure for a fleeting moment before self-destructing or declining. Another explanation suggests they do exist, but are simply too far away. Radio signals degrade, and light takes thousands of years to cross the galaxy. We might be listening at the wrong time. A signal could have passed through Earth millions of years ago when no one was here to receive it. Or a civilization is broadcasting right now, but their signal will only reach Earth long after humanity has vanished. It is also possible that advanced civilizations do not wish to be detected. In a universe where it is unknown who might be friendly, silence could be a survival strategy. Perhaps they observe younger civilizations from afar, much like humans observe wild animals while trying not to interfere. But there is also another possibility. Perhaps no one has come before us, because the universe has only just entered a period suitable for intelligence. If that is true, the silence is not the sign of a cosmic graveyard. It might be the silence before history truly begins. And here is the most astonishing hypothesis. Maybe humanity is not late. Maybe we truly belong to the first generation. There is a possibility directly opposed to the tales of ancient alien empires. Perhaps prior to humanity, there had never been any other civilization. It sounds incredible, but the universe being very old does not equate to it having always been hospitable to complex life and intelligence. The earliest stellar generations lacked many vital elements. Rocky planets, oceans, and complex chemistry required time to emerge. Even if an Earth-like planet forms, life could still need billions of years to evolve from simple cells to technological intelligence. On Earth itself, life appeared very early on, but for the vast majority of the planet's history, the world belonged exclusively to extremely simple organisms. It took about 4 billion years for a species to appear capable of building telescopes and questioning its place in the cosmos. If that time frame is typical, many planets older than Earth might just now be starting to produce intelligence in the same era as us. The universe might be like a forest, just entering its season of bloom. The first civilizations are emerging almost simultaneously. In that scenario, the silence of the sky is no longer inexplicable. No one is answering us, because the others are also just learning how to send out signals. A civilization 10,000 light years away might be asking this exact question, but both sides will have to wait thousands of years to know of each other. It is even possible that humanity is the first civilization in the galaxy, though not the first in the entire universe. Or we belong to a very small group of pioneering civilizations, separated by millions of light years and unable to detect one another. If so, there is no interstellar network waiting for us. There is no ancient library holding the answers to the greatest mysteries. We will have to discover physics ourselves, learn how to survive on our own, and decide for ourselves how intelligence should spread across the cosmos. That makes humanity's position simultaneously special and terrifying, because a first civilization has no predecessors to warn them of fatal mistakes. Every dangerous technology we create could be the very first time intelligence in this region has to learn how to control its own power. If we fail, the universe might remain silent for millions more years before another civilization emerges and asks this question once again. But if we survive, humanity could become the ancient civilization that future beings will one day seek out. Perhaps one day, someone on a distant planet will look up at the sky and wonder if they are the first ones. But before believing that we are the first, we must face the opposite possibility. Maybe humanity has arrived too late. Perhaps the silence of the universe is not because no one has ever appeared. Maybe we simply woke up after everything had already concluded. Imagine a civilization born 1 billion years before humanity. They could have thrived, spread, and then vanished long before Earth ever hosted complex life. As the first creatures crawled onto land, interstellar empires might have already been ancient history for hundreds of millions of years. That temporal gap is so immense that all their radio signals would have passed through the solar system ages ago, when no one was here to listen. The cities on their planets might have been eroded, buried, or crushed by geological forces over countless epochs. The ships left out in space could also be battered by collisions, radiation, and time, turning into fragments of matter that are no longer recognizable. After 1 billion years, the boundary between artificial structures and natural objects can blur so much that we look right at them without realizing what they are. It is possible that some bizarre phenomena out there are remnants of technology, but the evidence is too ambiguous for science to make a conclusion. Science cannot label something as alien technology just because we do not yet understand it. Natural explanations must always be tested first. But that very caution also means a truly ancient relic could be sitting right before our eyes, yet lack sufficient evidence to be recognized. Perhaps the galaxy has endured numerous ages of intelligence. Civilizations rise, shine brightly, and fade away without ever crossing paths. When one final civilization disappears on one side of the galaxy, millions of years later, another begins on the opposite side. Humanity might just be the latest civilization in a long sequence of beings who never knew that anyone had preceded them. If that holds true, the universe has not been empty throughout its history. It is merely empty at the exact moment we happen to be looking up, like walking into a city millions of years after its inhabitants have vanished. We might be mistaking the silence for the absence of anyone ever having been there. And there is an even stranger possibility. Ancient civilizations did not go extinct, but evolved into something we no longer know how to look for. They might live in frigid environments, calculating at exceedingly slow speeds, harvesting minimal energy, and leaving almost no observable signatures. Or they might have departed from the regions we are currently observing, heading toward other realms of space, leaving the galaxy behind like an abandoned house. We have no evidence for any of these scenarios, but the absence of evidence cannot inherently prove that such a history never existed. Thus, the ultimate question is not just who came first, but more importantly, where humanity stands within the entire overarching history of intelligence. After all, we still cannot answer with certainty whether humanity is the first civilization in the universe. We could be the very first to appear. Right at the moment, the universe grew old enough to forge intelligence and technology. It is also possible that other civilizations are beginning in the exact same era, but the staggering distances make everyone believe they are entirely alone. Or we are simply latecomers, waking up in a cosmos where countless histories concluded ages ago. The challenging part is that all three possibilities can produce the exact same vast, starry, and completely silent sky. Our telescopes have only just begun to observe distant planets, and our radios have been listening to the universe for an incredibly brief span of time. Compared to the age of the galaxy, the time we have spent searching for other civilizations is so fleeting that it is like opening your eyes for a single second and then concluding that the room is empty. Perhaps the first signal will arrive tomorrow, or perhaps humanity will have to search for thousands of years and still hear absolutely no one. But whatever the answer may be, the fact that we have not yet found anyone has made us realize something. Intelligence might be far rarer than we imagined. Among billions of worlds, water might exist on many, and some might harbor life, but extremely few places have ever produced beings capable of asking questions. If we truly are the first, the future of intelligence in this region may depend entirely on whether humanity survives or not. If other civilizations have previously failed, their silence might be the only warning that we will never directly hear. And if they still exist somewhere out there, perhaps the very way humanity navigates the coming centuries will decide whether we will ever get to meet them. Because the gap between an intelligent species and a civilization that lasts for millions of years might not lie in technology, but in the capacity to avoid self-destruction. We are living in the first few centuries where a species on Earth has enough power to alter the entire planet and to leave it. Perhaps this is the very phase that every civilization must go through, the moment when power grows faster than wisdom. We do not know if anyone has ever made it through, but for the first time, humanity understands that it is currently stepping into that exact crucible. We could be the first, we could be the last, or we might just be a tiny voice amidst a vastly larger history. But until we find another civilization, humanity remains the sole proof we know that the universe can become self-aware. And what do you think? Are we the first civilization? Those who arrived too late, or just not patient enough to?